Thanks for presenting. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. It's been a good day. It's been a good day. Y'all go starting right at 2:30? Go and get cranked in. They'll trickle in maybe a little bit here at the thing, but this is a short break. So for everyone in the room, we got about, it's right at 2:30, so here about one more minute, we'll let folks trickle in, we'll get started. I'm telling you what, it's been a full day, Lisa. But yep, it has. Yep. I know, absolutely. And it's only Tuesday. Oh, I know. Yeah. No. A lot of people worked all the way through the weekend for the stuff from Western Carolina, or western part of the state. It is true. Yep. All right. Well. Thank you, everyone. I expect a few more folks to trickle in here, but it's a short break. Everybody's trying to grab a snack, get back. But thank you for being here. Last session for the day. This is the 2:30 session. As always, the PDH codes are posted on the back on a QR code. We'll also post it up at the end. We'll just jump right in with the Transportation Systems Management and Operations updates. I believe we've got Alex and Braden and Natasha. Is that correct? So I'm going to turn it over to them. If you have any questions during the presentation, we have the Slido app again. You can roll it into there, and we'll go from there. But Alex, I'll turn it to you.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Appreciate those who are in the room with us today being here. We were expecting a little bit more presence, but I'll never compete with the afternoon, the one PDH. But again, thanks for your time. Again, my name is Alex Stewart. I'm with the ITS and Signals Unit in Transportation Systems Management and Operations Group. And we wanted to share a couple of updates of some of our initiatives and projects that we have going on across the state. We have several members who are not with us today because of their involvement in operations. So we are missing some of our subject matter experts. We're going to do our best to cover their content. But if for some reason we're not able to answer some of your questions, we definitely will provide you guys with our contact information to address those at a later time. So today I'm going to give an overview of TSMO, our organization chart, our org chart, who we are, how our units are divided. There seems to be some confusion sometimes when people are reaching out about the signal design, signal communications, signal structure plans. We're spread out amongst several different teams. I'm going to also talk about broadband projects and our communication plans. Then we're going to then transition to freeway management tactics, signal design updates, some of the traffic system operations steps and stages in the PDN, and then last, the transportation operations manual. So our org chart, our unit is separated into 3 different sections. We have signal design, ITS and signal management, and traffic system operations. Within signal design, we have 3 different regions: Eastern, Central, Western, and then we also have our ITS and signal structure review group. In ITS and signals management, we have ITS development and design, signal communications, metropolitan signal systems, signal equipment design, and then our TEC, our Traffic Electronics Center. And lastly, we have our Traffic System Operations Group, which handles traffic operations and signal system timing and operations. Again, Andrew Skuse wasn't able to be here today, but regarding broadband projects and communication plans, one large effort that we are currently undergoing is what we're currently calling the broadband project. It's a 600-mile fiber project that is spanning across the state of North Carolina. It is a design-build contract, and then following the design-build project, there's a OMC operate, maintain, and commercialize portion of this project. The design-build contract includes installing 3-inch and 1/4-inch conduits. There's a 144-inch 144-inch fiber for state devices, a 96-inch fiber for backhaul. This project also includes installing new ITS devices, connecting to existing ITS devices across the state, and it's broken up into 33 segments across the state of North Carolina. Once the segments are turned over, the OMC Operate, Maintain, and Commercialize contract kicks in, which was awarded to Plenary and Tilson. This contract involves maintaining the infrastructure and the fiber and the network, maintaining the devices, and it's a 25-year contract term following the acceptance of the final segment. And the OMC has the opportunity to commercialize the third conduit, installing their own fiber and then looking to commercialize that fiber line, where NCDOT will receive a revenue share of the commercialization of that third conduit. This graphic here is updated as of July 2024. In green, you can see the conduit is complete and the segment accepted. Blue, the conduit is essentially complete, and then red, work is not started. There are some updates to this graphic since this obviously was from July, but the project is well underway, and there's obviously tons of coordination and hurdles that we've run into throughout the project's construction. Here you can see a schematic. It's hard to see here, obviously, but all the effort and time that's going into coordination with other projects. This project spans and affects 11 divisions, has over 65 known projects that require coordination, and over 40 railroad crossings and encroachment agreements. Each project can affect it in different ways, minor, moderate to extreme levels of impact. So tons of coordination between the divisions, our design build team, and project management. Some of the commonly asked questions that we have regarding the broadband project is, this is an NCDOT ITS infrastructure. While there is the option to commercialize the third conduit, this is an NCDOT asset and it's not a utility by other. This is something that we're trying to spread the word and make sure everybody in project management is aware of this, as we need to take it into consideration for future project coordination and relocation efforts. We are developing and have various PSPs, project special provisions, intermediate contract times, and contract requirements for the relocation of this fiber through coordination with other projects. And we want to make sure that we are incorporating these requirements and associated liquidated damages for interaction with this fiber to safeguard the department, and also to make sure that it's known at the time of bid. We are developing SOPs to share with central and division project managers to ensure compliance with these requirements. And we're using outreach efforts such as this conference to reach out and coordinate with various project managers to make it known that where broadband is, how involved it will be to interact with. We also have strict as-built requirements that we're using in order to maintain the location and assets of our devices. We've developed a fiber asset management system, or what we're calling is FAMS. So we have basically a template that is used that is populated by the design build contractor for where the infrastructure is installed at various intervals, as well as other feature classes. So we know exactly where junction boxes, the fiber, the conduit is within our area and within our right-of-way. We want to make sure that these requirements are met and being adhered to. So this management system that we have, FAMS, is a reliable source of information for us in the future whenever we need to understand exactly where it is or how it could potentially impact future projects. Future broadband opportunities. I know I've touched on the 600 miles of fiber that we currently are installing across the state of North Carolina. There's a couple of other opportunities that are currently taking place that are being pursued, such as the I-85 Futures Grant that will be installing a 10-mile stretch of fiber along I-85 to the South Carolina line. And then we also have the Alligator River Grant where we will be installing fiber for, I believe that's a 140-mile stretch. We are conducting a statewide ITS communication plan where we have various different, corridor classes that we've created to evaluate the existing infrastructure, existing devices, see if that's meeting our current needs, and then also we can tie that to future planned improvements, so we can make sure that our efforts to install infrastructure align with our projects and our actual needs. We don't want to go out there and install our devices and looking to install fiber in areas or corridors that doesn't necessarily have that need or that desire. And then I was going to hand it off to Braden Walker. I believe we're doing questions at the end. Okay, yep.
Hello, everyone. My name is Braden Walker. I'm part of the Signal Structures Review Group, which makes me the perfect person to talk about freeway management tactics. Most of you guys are probably familiar with some of these that I'm going to go over, but really quickly, I've got 4 freeway management tactics I want to discuss, just in case someone's not familiar with them. And then we're going to discuss how we're developing guidance for these so we can use these to implement them in the future. That one fast. Our very first one that I think many people are familiar with are ramp meters. We currently have 4 of these along I-540 heading westbound towards the Durham RTP area. The way these operate is, think of it as a signal on a ramp onto a freeway. It stops large platoons of cars from merging onto an already congested freeway, causing a pinch point in that merge area. These operate just like a normal signal, detecting cars as they come up to them, but the variance of how they let cars in and out can be varied depending on the roadway traffic along the mainline freeway. So if it's more congested, it'll hold cars back a little further, releasing them maybe every 10 seconds. If it's less congested, it'll release cars every 4 seconds. These can be varied and programmed, maybe pre-timed, as well as detection. And there are a few tweaks that need to be considered with them, especially backing up into your interchange. So they're sort of a unique situation that needs to be laid out and designed well before it gets implemented. Our next tactic that we have is variable speed limits. I am not aware that we have these anywhere in North Carolina, but many other states do. Specifically, Florida has them, Nevada has them. I believe they're in Virginia as well. All these are these DMS signs that you can change the speed limit of a freeway. So you may want to lower the speed in case of a weather event, or in case of an accident, or in general congestion. If there's a large slowdown downstream in a speedway, you can slow traffic down so they're not coming in 75 miles an hour into completely stopped traffic ahead of them. You can lower that down to 55, help smooth out traffic, and allow for that not gridlock and then centipeding you see back along your interstate. Again, these are in 13 states right now, but we do not currently have them implemented within ours. Our next thing is queue warning. This is sort of a more DMS sign related tactic. All this is doing is warning drivers ahead of time of slow down congestion. I'm sure you guys see these DMS signs over TED saying, hey, congestion ahead or lane closed. Very similar situation. These can be both controlled by an operator from, say, the STOC, or they can be automated with detection, whether they be loops or visual detection systems. Again, another thing that we can talk about in the TOM later on in this presentation, but another tactic that we have in our back pocket. And lastly, that I want to go over is dynamic shoulder running. There's another one that has been discussed to me my entire time at DOT, and I have not seen it implemented once. I've very rarely even seen it discussed outside of, hey, what if we did this? There are a couple of different ways that these can be implemented. They can be with just transit vehicles, so think buses. They can bypass completely congested areas along a freeway, especially if we have like a BRT system. Can be utilized dynamic shoulder running. They can also be opened up for all vehicles in general. Now, they're a great way to add a little bit of capacity, especially during peak hours, but these are a little more, they need to be designed for in advance. We don't really have a way at this time implementing them from a design standpoint into an existing freeway facility, at least a standard one. So, discuss these 4 tactics with you guys. You can keep them in your back pocket, bring them out of a meeting. You'll sound really cool. But now what? We don't really have a way moving forward this. We're kind of starting from ground zero with all of these across the state. And that's exactly what we found ourselves with the I-5719 project. This was a widening project of I-85 just west of Charlotte. And we acquired a grant in 2003 to analyze ramp meters as part of this project. And we really were starting from scratch. We had limited information on how to implement them, how to operate them, how to design for them. And although we did do a study, and our ultimate conclusion of the study with the widening nature of the project led to us saying ramp meters weren't necessarily needed to be part of this project, it did give us a very good base to go off of. Hey, this is what we discovered along the way. These are things that we need to take into consideration when we're designing and analyzing for this. So we've partnered with some of our private firms, and we're working and putting together a design and operations guidance for ramp meters at this time. These will be a standard NCDOT specific design manual for ramp meters. We are in the process of finalizing our final draft of this, and we are in the process also of creating a draft for the standard operations document as well. And we're hoping to look forward to as far as a location selection methodology. So what we're saying here is we have all these tactics in our back pocket that we've been talking about forever. We're finally creating some manuals on how to design for them, how to operate them, and location method selections. So we can actually start moving forward from more than just a nothing standpoint. And so I tell you guys to keep an eye out for manuals coming from TSMO on these different operations and different tactics that we might be able to implement as far as our freeway management. And if you guys have ideas other than just add another lane, these are some more that we can take into consideration. So thank you. Hi, my name is Nick Zinzer. I'm representing Nick today as well. He is our Western Regional Signals Engineer. Obviously, he has some more important issues that he's taking care of with as well. But we wanted to go over some of our signal design updates that we've been implementing over the past year. Some of these they just came out at the beginning of the year. Some of you guys will probably be already familiar with them. Hopefully, we've been implementing this field, and so far things have been moving smoothly. Very first thing is our all red flash operation. So in the past, when a signal goes into flash, our main line was flashing yellow and our side streets were flashing red. Typically, you're supposed to treat a flashing signal as an always stop. This wasn't really, demonstrated to travelers with a flashing yellow. Everyone's just been flying through them. So moving forward, we're going to an all red flash. We'll be flashing our main line red and our side streets as well. This is sort of the standard across most states in the country, so we're really sort of just getting in line now. It's been being implemented in the field at the moment, and we've had a few issues with people calling complaints, but in general, it's been moving pretty smoothly. So if anyone has any questions or wants to yell and complain about this, remember my name is Nick Zinzer. Our next thing is leading pedestrian intervals. So LPI, if you're not familiar with it, at a pedestrian movement, this allows the pedestrian signal to allow pedestrians to enter the intersection prior to giving the green light for vehicles. So this establishes them in the crosswalk. That way, say a car who has a green light turning right can see them before they're making that movement, gives them a little bit more safety prior to giving green to your main line. These are going to be moving forward. We're implementing LPI across the state for any pedestrian facility that has it. One unique thing with it in the new MUTCD update was stated that if you have LPI but no APS, that's accessible pedestrian signal, so the binging sound that says wait, wait, proceed. If you don't have APS, an additional 7 seconds will be required for LPI. So that is just something to take into consideration. You might be seeing some longer pedestrian walk times with these LPI signals. If you have a very congested intersection, you can add APS to sort of bring down that walk time, give a little bit more green time to your vehicle movements. A lot of these are being led by division forces via plan of record, not necessarily coming from central. But again, just something to keep into consideration, keep an eye out for when you're out in the field implementing signals. All right, this is stuff I really don't know now. Our signal modernization project. Across the state, we are upgrading all of our cabinets to max time software. Originally, our goal was a 7-year project with, I think, about 5,000 signals. I am pleased to say, in a rare DOT occurrence, we are ahead of schedule. And we've actually bumped it up to about 6,000 signals, and we are now on a 5-year schedule. So we've seen a great push from all of our divisions getting this implemented. And what this allows us to do is it connects it to our Connect signals, or Connect system. So we can view signals, their operation from a centralized hub. We don't have to actually go out into the cabinet and look at how the timing is running. We can do it all from our computer at our centralized location. Like I said, we're in year 2 of this originally 7-year, hopefully 5-year process. And we've been implementing it across the state. We're going to have one standard software. Some things to consider: there are legacy programs in municipalities that are not upgrading at this time. They may be at a later system. If you have questions about that, we recommend talking to your local DTE. They will know about the municipalities or regional traffic engineers as well. So as far as DOT is concerned, we're going to max time, but municipalities might not necessarily be the case. This is our progress, our annual plan. If you guys can interpret this, let me know, because I was trying to look at this last night and I was a little confused, but from my understanding, it's all these signals that have been completed during our accelerated plan, and it shows you how we originally planned for 5,000, we're now going up to over 6,000. So it sounds like we're going to hit that 5,000 mark prior to our original 5-year goal. Again, I'm not the one to be talking on this. Lastly, as far as all of our updates and our resources for our TSMO, this is our site. We are now updating that box in the top right. You can see this shows you all of our updates to our design manuals, all updates to all of our resources. We've had sort of issues in the past of us sending out updates and firms not knowing. We might be saying, all right, all of our signal plans are requiring all red flash. Hey, we didn't get an update on it. This is where you can find it. This is where our front page lets you know what's coming through. ORD guides are located on there as well. We're going to Open Roads Designers, so that's sort of something that we're moving forward with. And it's really just keep an eye out on this site. If you guys have any questions, resources are most likely here, as well as updates. Cool, I think that's what I got. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm Natasha Henderson. I'm standing in for Dom this afternoon. He's also helping with the storm. Let me make sure I got my clicker right. Okay. So traffic system operations is divided into 2 groups. The traffic operations group, which is where I am. We focus on IMAP, the statewide transportation operations centers, as well as other regional TMCs or traffic management centers. And IMAP stands for Incident Management Assistance Patrol. There's a lot of acronyms. If you need explanation on one, if I forget to tell you, just let me know. Travel information with the DriveWise system and getting that information out as far as Waze and Google Maps to be able to take that information and give it to people while they're actually on the road. And then on the signal system timing side, we've got the ITS network and upgrading signal timing plans. So there we go. This is the section of the traffic system operations that's included in the PDN. So when you look at funding and construction mechanisms when it comes to these traffic system operations projects, they're standalone projects, which are a little bit rare to come by, but they're overall operational performance project. And then what we mostly have is through TIP projects. So there's a significant project list, and we go through and decide which projects in the PDN are significant projects, and then we'll put our efforts there. So we also manage traffic during and after construction. So the transportation management plan is required by federal highway. It can include temporary traffic control, public information, and the traffic operations strategies, and we manage the traffic operations strategies. We call it our integrated corridor management or comprehensive response plans. So these have a lot of demand management, corridor and network management, work zone safety management, and then traffic and incidents. So we scale our response to the impacts. So the more we think that a project is going to impact traffic, the more we put into a comprehensive response plan. When you start on like smaller projects or just arterial projects, we know we're going to have some travel information, maybe some DMS and CMS support, detour routes, and then we'll expand and see if we need trailblazers, new ITS devices, if we need to expand our incident management patrol routes. And then if it's a project that's going to impact a lot of traffic, then we usually have a tow contract or dynamic trailblazers. And that's what we consider the comprehensive response plan. We'll tailor these needs based on the project and the location. So some of the efforts that we've had across the state so far have been implementing Business 40 section that had a tow contract that worked out really well and was really a footprint for how we do them now. I-95 west of Charlotte and 95 corridor and the Orange County project that's ongoing. And then we have some projects in the design phase. So this is the PDN's chart that they call the Skittle chart. And you'll see where traffic operations and system timing are located in these. In project initiation, we're scoping out system operations. In the environmental right-of-way, then we're initiating the traffic operations plan. And if it's a significant project, then the signal timing plan is coming on board. And if it's not a significant project, then they'll wait till phase 3 with that final plan stage. And then in stage 4, we're completing those the transportation operations plans, and we're implementing the signal timing plans. So when we look at stage 1 for project initiation, we're looking at starting the operational risk assessment, or the ORA. This is a really insignificant portion to sit down and actually evaluate, because if you have a project, a lot of times you're going to be detouring traffic on your alternate routes. So this really deeps dive into the alternate routes and any detour routes and sees which ones can handle the level of traffic that would be coming from maybe an interstate project. And it really kicks off what our level of response is going to be. Currently, if an interstate project is costing more than $14 million, that's our threshold to start to look into starting an ORA. There's a couple other projects that get considered as well, but the price is higher on urban or rural projects. If it's not a significant level project, then we're going to do this as well if it is significant, but we won't do the ORA. Identify what new devices we need, kind of scope out those costs, and then determine what the signal corridor is that's going to be affected. So for stage 2, environmental and right-of-way plans, we're really getting deep into our cost estimates and our response plans. We're working closely with work zone traffic control to determine what level of smart work zone we're going to need and to get our standard scopes implemented. In stages 3 and 4, it's a lot of the incident management plans. A lot of times the contractors will do the demand management plan and the traffic operations plan and the travel information plan, and we'll just make sure that everything is, they work closely with us to make sure it's correct. And then in our 4th and final stage, we'll be seeing what IMAP routes we need to expand, making sure we have enough staffing in the TMCs, and coming up with a memorandum of understanding with our law enforcement so that they can help us with when it comes to like towing or anything in the project zone. Okay. So our efforts continue after the PDN is over into the construction phase. We're managing the tow contracts and we're hiring TMC staff. We're working with our partners at Highway Patrol for the Hawks program, or helping all work zones keep safe. And we're actively managing the traffic in those areas. For signal system timing, if it's not a significant project, then there's signal system modeling, analysis, and then implementation and fine-tuning. So as Braden was saying, these are the type of projects when you come with managed freeways that are the ramp metering and the dynamic speed limits or dynamic shoulders. These projects will be coming soon in the PDN. So just hold tight, Brady. You'll see them soon. Okay. Next up is the transportation operations manual. I'm standing in for Jennifer as well. So the transportation operations manual is a comprehensive guide. It's looked to be a holistic approach into traffic operations, and it's first of its kind. we have the Green Book, the Highway Capacity Manual, the Highway Safety Manual, and now we have the Transportation Operations Manual. So it really reinforces TSMO as a critical function in our agency. So this manual includes a DEI, or Diversity, Equity, Inclusion section, and why is that important in a technical manual? Well, it's important to make sure that our transportation decisions are considering the equity for all the communities involved. And like we said, it's a holistic approach. So we wanted to look at internally, what are we looking at as an agency, and then externally, what are people going to see when they see our TSMO projects? So there's 6 parts to the manual. The introduction has like the purpose and need. It has a description on depending on which audience you are, how you should look into the manual, what sections you would be interested in. The TSMO concepts and context section, part B, has a directions to the operations directors on how to have a successful TSMO program in their state. The program development and project management section, hold on one second. It goes more for the day-to-day programs and funding, performance management, all those kind of program problems in the TSMO world. And then our section D, project development, is going to be more of the performance-based practical design and how to link the TSMO to capital projects. Part E is the tactical elements, so that's going to have more of your specific strategies, arterial management, freeway management, active demand and parking management laid out. And then part F are industry and technology trends. So how does TOM relate to pre-construction? When you think about TSMO, when you're thinking about planning, I operate as the planner for TSMO. So we're looking at long-term Long-term, how can these TSMO strategies improve mobility and safety without adding capacity? Because at some point, that's no longer the most cost-effective strategy. You can also come up with more environmental friendly and cost-effective projects using some TSMO strategies. So we really want to see it grow to be more considered in the planning phase. And if you're looking at what funding can be used in TSMO projects, chapters 15 and 17 are really big on pointing you towards different funding opportunities. So everyone can have access to the TOM manual. NCDOT employees can download it for free, and it's available for purchase on the AASHTO website. Our unit has been working all year. This picture was taken in January to become expert matters on the TOM. We've been meeting monthly to present to each other chapters of the TOM and really get to know all the details in it. So reach out to any of us if you need more information on the manual. And that concludes what we have for now. Are there any questions for any of us?
We have no questions on Slido at the moment, but the floor is open.
It's a quick one. You're welcome. Just for a moment, let's give a round of applause for our presenters. And like I said, if you do think of a question, you can reach out. You got to contact us upon them. But last calling, thoughts, questions. Everybody got any good lottery numbers? Everybody, again, the QR code for those eventually is on the back. It's hung up, and we have it up here as well. And again, thanks for y'all's presentation, and have a great rest